Hello and welcome to the 24th week of Season 23, Season of the Wish, starting on May 7th, 2024. This week sees Destiny 2 introduce 3 new Crucible maps into the PvP sandbox, and Bungie have teamed up with Relic to develop 3 very cool call-out map overviews of each location, going over area names, zones, spawn locations and ammo crates. First up we have Eventide Labs, which is set in the long-forgotten human colony research outpost on Europa that Eververse chose to use as a refueling station. With initial spawns near Point A at the warehouse and near Point C at the ice caves, players will make their way to contest the servitor area that holds Point B and a valuable heavy ammo crate. But be careful, while the interior of the map by the promenade and the upper glacial is more close quarters battle focused, a handful of longer sight lines in the space between the air dock and the loading bay means you'll have to ensure that you're approached very carefully, or you might be on the wrong side of a sniper. The second map takes us to Neptune, where we will find Cirrus Plaza. This is set in a shopping and entertainment centre on near Muna. There are 4 distinct areas on Cirrus Plaza with the arcade, restaurant, aquarium and atrium. Players will spawn in the arcade near Point A and restaurant near Point C. The atrium will be an area of interest, as players will seek the heavy ammo crate that spawns in the middle and battle to earn the valuable high ground. However, with sightlines spanning multiple floors and players battling for Point B nearby, Guardians will need to get in and out quickly or ensure they have a teammate watching their back. Finally, we have Dissonance, a map set on the Witness's former pyramid ship Essence, which was terraformed by the Traveller. With initial spawn points near the fossils at Point A and Sigil at Point C, the map offers somewhat direct paths through the middle, where players will be drawn to orbits that engage in heated brawls over the heavy ammo and across the bottom of the map towards B. When these maps arrive on May 7th, they'll be placed into their own separate 3v3 playlist called New Territory, so Guardians can enjoy the new experience these maps offer on demand. The playlist will replace the 3v3 quick play node and feature the 3 new maps, with the following game modes: Survival, Elimination, Clash, and Collision. With the new maps and playlists comes a new quest, where Shaxx in the main tower will have an introductory quest which will provide more details on the maps and playlist. Additionally, while New Territories is the designated playlist for the new maps, the maps will be available in the other playlists and private lobbies as usual. Also, any Guardian who engages in the playlist will be awarded with the new Slaycation emblem. Lastly, New Territories will be available until the end of the season, from May 7th until the release of the final shape on June 4th. Continuing this week is Destiny 2's limited time event PvE challenge, Pantheon, in which you will have to face down a gauntlet of Destiny 2's raid bosses, which escalate in the number of bosses, difficulty and rewards each week. If you'd like to know more about Pantheon, then click the link at the top of the screen. Week 2's bosses are Golgoroth from Kingsfall's 3rd encounter, Caretaker from Veil the Disciples' 2nd encounter, Zorak from Root of Nightmare's 3rd encounter, Atrax 1 from Deepstone Crypt's 2nd encounter, and Oryx, final boss from Kingsfall. Also continuing this week we have the Horde game mode Onslaught. If you're unfamiliar, Onslaught is Destiny 2's new PvE wave-based defense activity, where 3 Guardians defend the last city from increasingly difficult waves of the Witness's forces. On the way, Guardians will have to slay enemies, earn resources, build defences and sabotage pyramid ships. To find out more, check out our Onslaught Explained link at the top of the screen. Plus, if you've reached rank 17 with Lord Shaxx and you've completed all the weapon bounties from our site 9940, then you should be able to collect your Superblack shader from the Hall of Champions.
Yes!
Moving on, we have our Legacy rotation starting with the Forsaken expansion.
Ready if you are. Let's see what's out there.
The Dreaming City this week is at a medium curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Devilian Mists, and has the Oracle Engine mission for the next week. The Blind World features Hive enemies and the Plague, Kregar. The Ascendant challenge this week will be the Shattered Ruins, which can be located over in the Spine of Keris on the Dreaming City. Next up, the Shadowkeep expansion. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is a Mysterious Disturbance. The Trove Guardian is located in the Anchor of Light, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Zortl in Sorrow's Harbour. And the Nightmare hunts this week will be Crota, Despair, Omnigul, Anguish, and the Fanatic, Insanity. For our Beyond Light expansion, on Europa this week, Phylax the Warrior will be the Empire Hunt, Asterian's Abyss will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Agility. For the 30th Anniversary expansion, Dares of Eternity Legendary rounds are Fallen, Hive, and for the final round, Zydron. The loot rotation will be on week 3's rotation, with the Scatterhorn armor set and the Lightkin armor set being available. The weapons available this week are the Kinetic Rapid Fire Frame Auto Rifle Chroma Rush, the Kinetic Lightweight Frame Grenade Launcher Ignition Code, the Void Rapid Fire Frame Pulse Rifle Grid Skipper, the Kinetic Lightweight Frame Sidearm Farewell, the Solar Pinpoint Slug Frame Shotgun Sonja's Tail, the Void Rapid Fire Frame Machine Gun Shattered Cipher, the Arc Precision Frame Fusion Rifle Main Ingredient, the Kinetic Adaptive Frame Sniper Rifle Long Shadow, the Arc Armor Adaptive Frame Sidearm Last Dance, the Kinetic Aggressive Frame Shotgun Toil and Trouble, the Solar Rapid Fire Frame Shotgun Wishbringer, and the Void Adaptive Frame Pulse Rifle Last Perdition. For the Witch Queen expansion, the Witch Queen weekly story mission is the Ghosts, where the modifiers are Fire Pit and Raider Shields, as well as Barrier and Unstoppable champions. Also this week you will have Altar of Reflection's Choice and Altar of Reflection's Insight. The Wellspring activity has been updated to include a featured Throne World weapon, Veritas armor and a weapon pattern as its rewards. For the Lightfall expansion, the weekly mission is Breakneck, with extra shields, lock loadouts and extra champions. Barrier, Overload and Unstoppable champions, Void Threat, Pestilence, Kinetic Overcharge, Stasis and Solar Surges, with Overcharge rocket launchers, and Galvanized on hero difficulty only. The Partition mission will be Ordnance, Contest mode enabled with Overload and Unstoppable champions, Solar Threat, Arc and Strand shields, Air Superiority modifier, with Solar and Stasis surges. And the Vex incursion this week will be Umshire Park. In addition, the weekly Lightfall reset also refreshes the Pinnacle drop for the Node Override Avalon exotic mission on the EDZ, and the Starcrossed exotic mission in the Helm. For the Season of the Deep, all 3 fishing ponds are now exotic all week. Raids and Dungeons. The Crota's End Raid challenge this week is the second encounter across the bridge called Precarious Balance. Guardians cannot step on the bridge while it is fully formed. Plus, if you complete the weekly challenge on Master, you'll get an Adept weapon. The Adept weapon you get is a random drop but works on a knockout system. You will get a new one with every challenge you complete every week until you've unlocked them all. The Root of Nightmares raid challenge this week is the third encounter, Macrocosm, called Cosmic Equilibrium. Players must swap all of the dark planets to the left side of the room and all of the light worlds to the right. The Kingsfall raid challenge this week is the first encounter, Totems, called The Grass is Always Greener. Players cannot take the same brand type twice in a row. The Vow the Disciple challenge this week is the fourth encounter, Rook, called Looping Catalyst. This is where Guardians must not lose the Leeching Force buff before the damage phase. The Vault of Glass challenge this week is the second encounter, Oracles, called The Only Oracle for You. Players cannot destroy the same Oracle more than once. The Garden of Salvation challenge this week is the second encounter, Spy Defense, called A Link to the Chain. This is where all Guardians must receive the Enlightened buff at the same time. And the Last Wish challenge this week is the first encounter, Kali, called Summoning Ritual. Players must activate and cleanse all 9 plates, then kill all 9 knights and ogres before damaging Kali. Your Pinnacle raid will be the Deep Zone Crypt over on Europa, which means all challenges will be available for each encounter. These are the first encounter, Crypt Security, called Red Rover. This is where all Guardians must be an operator and shoot the 2 panels on the lower levels. The second encounter, Atrax 1, called Copies of Copies, where you must not send any Atrax 1 replicant debuffs into the airlock/space. The third encounter, Tanix Part 1, called Of All Trades. Guardians must perform each role at least once, Operator, Scanner and Suppressor. And the fourth encounter, Tanix, called The Core 4. Guardians must dunk all 4 cores before each DPS phase. Also, with the Deep Stone Crypt being the featured raid, this does mean that you can farm the final boss for a chance at the exotic rocket launcher, Eyes of Tomorrow. The Pinnacle dungeon will be the Pit of Heresy on the Moon. And our exotic mission Rotator will be Vox Obscura, with the Dead Messenger exotic grenade launcher being the main reward. Craftable weapons available from this mission include the Solar Wave Frame Grenade Launcher Explosive Personality, the Stasis Rapid Fire Frame Machine Gun Recurrent Impact, the Void Precision Frame Bow Under Your Skin, the Arc Rapid Fire Frame Auto Rifle Sweet Sorrow, the Stasis Adaptive Frame Sniper Thoughtless, and the Kinetic Rapid Fire Frame Pulse Rifle Peace of Mind, with the Tusk Allegiance armor set. Plus, the exotic mission The Whisper is available over in the Into the Light node. Next up, challenges. We have now had all 66 challenges over the first 10 weeks of the season. So, as a reminder, if you complete 63 out of the 66, you can get a large pile of Bright Dust to spend at the Eververse store in-game. Here's a few that you might have missed that you might want to get completed in the next few months. Boss Battle. Defeat bosses in Strikes or Vanguard playlists. Bonus progress is granted for defeating bosses on hero difficulty or higher. 4. Challenge XP+++ and Bright Dust. Over Specialised. Get 100 final blows with weapons using special ammo in ritual activities. Earn bonus progress by defeating Guardians. 4. Challenge XP++ and Bright Dust. Darkest Nightfall. Complete any Nightfall strike on hero difficulty or higher. Bonus progress is granted for completing Nightfalls above hero difficulty. 4. Challenge XP++, Bright Dust and a Nightfall weapon. Taking all challenges. Complete weekly playlist challenges. 4. Challenge XP+ and Bright Dust. Throne World activities. In the Throne World, complete bounties and earn progress by completing patrols, public events and looting lost sectors. 4. Challenge XP and Bright Dust. Round and round we go. Generate orbs of power in Vanguard, Gambit or Crucible playlists. 4. Challenge XP+++ and Bright Dust. Absolutely stunning. Stun 50 champions. 4. Challenge XP+++ and Bright Dust. And Mod Collector. Unlock 12 artifact mods. 4. Challenge XP++ and Bright Dust.
Hello!
As a reminder, your daily lost sector will show you a flag outside which will give you details of threats, shields, champions and exotic armour you will find inside. But if you're new to the game or using an alternate character and can't find the flag outside, you will have to run through the lost sector normally to have it show up on your map as a legend/master, which you can either do solo or with a fire team, but you'll only be able to earn a chance at the exotic drop when completing solo. This season we'll see the introduction of Gunsmith engrams, as well as a selection of foundry weapons for completing legend and master lost sectors while solo, with legend being a 70% chance to master being 100%, assuming the guardian is thorough enough to leave no champion standing. Thorough completions on master difficulty will also have the advantage of weapons dropping an additional perk in either the 3rd or 4th column. The weapons available from the lost sectors are grouped into 4 weapons per day over 4 days, and after the 4th day the cycle repeats back to the first set. The following weapons will be available from the lost sectors during the Season of the Wish. Day 1, the Strand High Impact Frame Fusion Rifle Nox Perennial 5. The Strand Adaptive Frame Auto Rifle Old Sterling. The Solar Rapid Fire Frame Grenade Launcher Marsilian C. And the Stasis Omolon Adaptive Frame Sidearm Sinua SI6. Day 2, the Stasis High Impact Frame Pulse Rifle Psychomatic 5. The Strand Precision Frame Scout Rifle Glissando 47. The Strand Vice Rapid Fire Frame Sniper Rifle Urakanji. And the Arc Adaptive Frame Sword Nazaruddin. Day 3, the Solar Lightweight Frame Sidearm Heliocentric QSC. The Kinetic Aggressive Frame Sniper Rifle Last Foray. The Arc Aggressive Frame Shotgun Hand in Hand. And the Kinetic Lightweight Frame Pulse Rifle Battle Scar. Day 4, the Nadir Void Adaptive Frame Sword Geodetic HSM. The Arc Aggressive Frame Hand Cannon Combined Action. The Void Wave Frame Grenade Launcher Harsh Language. And the Solar Adaptive Frame Auto Rifle Coronactor 22. This week's rotation will start on Weapon Set 2 on Tuesday's reset. Tuesday, May 7th will be Gilded Precept on Neptune for exotic helmets, Arc Threat, Solar and Strand Surges, Void and Solar Shields, Scorched Earth Modifier, Overcharged Glaives with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions. Wednesday, May 8th will be Scavenger's Den on the EDZ for exotic boots, Solar Threat, Solar and Strand Surges, Arc Shields, Scorched Earth Modifier, Overcharged Fusion Rifles with Barrier and Overload Champions. Thursday, May 9th will be Skydot 4 on the EDZ for exotic gauntlets, Solar Threat, Solar and Strand Surges, Void Shields, Pestilence Modifier, Overcharged Shotguns with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions. Friday, May 10th will be the Quarry on the EDZ for exotic chests, Void Threat, Solar and Strand Surges, Void and Solar Shields, Scorched Earth Modifier, Overcharged Grenade Launchers with Barrier and Unstoppable Champions. Saturday, May 11th will be Aphelios Rest on the Dreaming City for exotic helmets, Solar Threat, Solar and Stasis Surges, Void Shields, Epitaph Modifier, Overcharged Shotguns with Overload and Unstoppable Champions. Sunday, May 12th will be Battleground Wishes on the Dreaming City for exotic boots, Arc Threat, Solar and Stasis Surges, Void Shields, Raider Shield Modifier, Overcharged Snipers with Overload and Unstoppable Champions. And finally, back round to Monday, May 13th will be Chamber of Starlight on the Dreaming City for exotic gauntlets, Solar Threat, Solar and Stasis Surges, Void and Solar Shields, Epitaph Modifier, Overcharged Swords with Overload and Unstoppable Champions.
Lead the way.
Our 24th featured Nightfall will see us face off against Once Virus, the Exhumed Tether in the Heist Battlegrounds Moon, where you have a chance to get a Pinnacle engram if you complete the Nightfall with a score of 200k or more. This Nightfall is free to play. You'll be able to earn high-end gear for your characters, including the Nightfall featured weapon, exotic gear, enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, Ascendant shards and adept Nightfall ciphers. The higher the Nightfall difficulty, the more common the drop will be, with the featured weapon and exotic gear being uncommon at hero difficulty to being common with Ascendant shards in Grandmasters. Enemies will have Arc, Solar and Void shields. Your Nightfall modifiers are hero difficulty, maximum effective level 1765, matchmaking is available, enemies have extra shields, champions foe, you will face barrier and unstoppable champions, you can either use intrinsic exotics, use a subclass debuff or unlock anti-champion mods from the seasonal artifact. Void threat, 25% increase for incoming void damage. Overcharged weapons, weapons overcharged from the seasonal artifact are active in this activity. Kinetic weapons do increase damage when your subclass element matches an active surge. Solar and Strand surges, 25% bonus to outgoing solar and strand damage. Overcharged snipers, 25% bonus damage with snipers. Scorched earth, enemies throw grenades significantly more often. Galvanized, combatants have more health and are more difficult to stun. Legend difficulty, maximum effective level 1815, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. No matchmaking. Equipment locked, you'll be unable to change your equipment once the mission starts. Master difficulty, maximum effective level 1820, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. Champions mob, this difficulty adds more champion enemies. Famine, all ammunition drops are significantly reduced. Grandmaster difficulty, maximum effective level 1815, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized, Scorched Earth and Famine. Join in progress disabled. Extinguish, if your fire team falls in a restricted zone, your team is returned to orbit. Limited revives, gain additional revives by defeating champions, up to a maximum of 20. Contest mode, which caps your power level to make enemies more of a challenge. Fire pit, when defeated acolytes spawn fireballs that cause damage over time. And Chafe, radar is disabled. To combat champions, you have access to subclass counters as well as a choice of intrinsic anti-champion artifact mods. This season's artifact is the Queen's Force Sensor. The anti-champion mods available this week are Anti-Barrier Sidearm, Unstoppable Hand Cannon, and Unstoppable Bow. You also have exotic weapons and armor that can help with intrinsic mods as well. For Anti-Barrier, the Kinetic Bow Wishender, the Kinetic Linear Fusion Rifle Arbalist, the Kinetic Pulse Rifle Revision 0, the Solar Energy Hand Cannon Ariana's Vow, the Solar Heavy Sword The Lament, and the Titan Gauntlet Second Chance, which gain a second charge of your shield throw melee which becomes shield piercing and stuns barrier champions. For Unstoppable, the Kinetic Fusion Rifle Bastion, the Kinetic Hand Cannon Malfeasance, the Kinetic Scout Rifle Touch of Malice, the Solar Energy Sidearm Devil's Ruin, the Void Heavy Bow Leviathan's Breath, the Titan Gauntlet Sash and Wake, where Fusion Grenade hits stun unstoppable champions, and the Hunter Gauntlet Zathras' Embrace, which have a chance to stun unstoppable champions with their empowered weighted knife. The Nightfall featured weapon to attain this week will be the Solar Precision Frame Bow Priastian X4. The Priastian X4 has a base impact of 76, accuracy of 65 and stability of 40. It can roll with Collective Action, Opening Shot and Explosive Head, with Enlightened Action, Perpetual Motion and Archer's Tempo. It has the origin trait of Stunning Recovery, where if you stun a champion you partially refill the magazine, trigger health regen and improve your recovery for a short duration. Vanguard Vindication, where final blows with the weapon grant a small amount of health. And Wildcard, final blows with this weapon have a chance to create experimental submunitions at the target's location. Available in the 6v6 playlist will be Control. Control is a variation of Team Deathmatch, with the added variable of 3 capture points on the map, in which teams will need to work together to capture and hold the point. Guardians conquer capture points by standing on them while no enemies are in capture range. The process takes about 10 seconds and is not affected by the number of Guardians taking part in the capture. Each team begins with a capture point under their control, the one that is closest to their starting area. The third capture point will initially be neutral. Depending on the number of capture points held by a team, the points rewarded for killing an opponent varies. The scoring is calculated as follows: base kill rewards +1 point. Zone advantage, when a team holds 2 capture points, killing an enemy will reward the team with 2 points. Power play, when a team holds all 3 capture points, killing an enemy will reward them with +3 points. Capture, conquering a capture point rewards the team that claimed it with +1 point. Capturing a point will reward you and your team a small portion of super energy. If you are on the point while it's captured, you will gain additional energy on top of this small portion. During a control match there is only one power ammo spawn location. It will spawn in at 45 seconds and then every 120 seconds. Control matches feature an 8-minute time limit and all players will respawn automatically 5 seconds after the death mechanics. The first team to 150 points or the team that has the most points at the end of the time limit is declared the winner. And Team Scorch will be available in the Party Relentless playlist. Team Scorch is a 6v6 PvP mode where all players wield a Scorch Cannon. Equipped weapons and abilities cannot be used in this game mode. Movement abilities, e.g. lift, jump and glide, sprinting and emotes can be used. Players are forced to use a Scorch Cannon that cannot be dropped. The Scorch Cannon has 100 ammo which is replenished on respawn. Matches have a 7-minute timer, players have a 3-second respawn timer, kills give +1 point each, the first team to reach 60 points wins. If the timer runs out before the team reaches 50 points, the team with the largest score wins. The player's current and longest kill streaks are shown at the top of the screen below the score. Taking over the 3v3 playlist will be the new playlist New Territory, which will only feature the 3 new maps with the following game modes: Survival, Elimination, Clash, and Collision. In Survival, each team starts with a pool of shared respawns. The respawn pool cannot be refilled, and when a player dies they will consume 1 life from that pool. Players have a 7-second respawn timer, and when the team's respawn pool is depleted, players who cannot respawn remain in spectator mode until the round or match ends. Each round also features a 2-minute timer after which the round ends or enters overtime. Winning a round can be done by defeating opponents until they've depleted their respawn pools and eliminating the ones still standing, or by having more lives left when the time runs out. If the timer runs out whilst the teams are tied, the round enters overtime. 1 more minute is added to the timer and a capture point from the control mode is introduced to the map, and both teams lose their unused respawns. The team that captures the point wins the round. If overtime also ends in a tie, the round ends and no teams receive the points. The first team to win 4 rounds is declared the winner of the match. Elimination is a game mode that focuses on eliminating the enemy team. Teammates can revive each other but cannot revive themselves. The first team to eliminate the other team wins the round. If neither team have been eliminated after 2 minutes, then a control point will spawn somewhere on the map. The team that captures the point will win the round. If neither team can capture the point, then whichever guardian is closest to the centre of the point will win the round. Heavy ammo will spawn in the round after a team has won 3 rounds. The first team to win 5 rounds wins the match. In Clash, points are gained through scoring kills against the opposing team. Players are not penalised for low map control and can bunker down together or fan out as they see fit. Strength in numbers is paramount as a lone player can be picked off very quickly by a team shooting enemies. Heavy ammo can swing the balance of a match, so controlling the box can be the key to winning. Super usage both offensively and defensively is one way to break the deadlock. This version of Clash has been modified to reflect a fan favourite from the original Destiny, Skirmish, so revives are enabled. In this new version of 3v3 Clash, heavy ammo will no longer be shared. The respawn timer is being increased from 5 to 7 seconds and the match timer is also being increased to 10 minutes, but the score to win remains at 40. And Collision is Destiny 2's new 3v3 King of the Hill mode. In Collision, a single larger zone will rotate between 5 points around the map on a timer, and capturing and controlling it will earn your team points. Zone scores +1 point when your team captures an active zone, and scores +1 point for each time interval your team controls the zone after. Captured zones will deactivate after a set time, and a new zone will appear somewhere else on the map. But be aware, in Collision there is no mercy rule. This version of Collision will test an alternative special ammo crate system, where 4 shareable special ammo crates will spawn simultaneously at the beginning of each game or round, and then on a timer afterwards. Each control zone located at A, B and C will have an associated special ammo crate, and the 4th crate will be in a neutral location. Also, players who currently have special ammo will drop special ammo bricks on death. And available in the Crucible Labs playlist will be the new game mode Hardware Supremacy. The hardware modifier disables all abilities, including movement abilities like dodge and Icarus dash, although you can still use your powered jump abilities. This puts the focus on pure gunplay. Every guardian that falls will leave a class-based crest behind, and collecting those is the key to winning each match, no matter if they were dropped by a defeated enemy or by a fallen comrade. Securing opposing guardian's crest will net the team 1 point, and collecting a fallen teammates will deny your opponent that point. Focus on recovering the crest to earn points and defeat the opposing team. Special and heavy ammo will be available from crates around the map, and as this is Supremacy, you will have to play the objective to win.
Delightful!
Saint 14 will be back at the weekend with his mid-season refresh of Trials of Osiris Dominion, bringing with him a whole host of rewards for players who do make it to the Lighthouse and open the chest. These include the Hero's Wake exotic Ghost Shell, the Valiant Memory exotic Ship, the Survivor's Journey exotic Sparrow, the Visor Regalia Shader, and High Stat Trials Armor. In this mid-season refresh we also have some new and returning weapons, including the Solar Adaptive Frame Auto Rifle the Summoner, which has a base impact of 21, a range of 40 and stability of 41. It can roll with Kill Clip, Onslaught and Target Lock, with Overflow, Dynamic Sway Reduction and Heal Clip. It has the Origin trait of Alacrity, where you gain increased reload, stability, aim assist and range when you are the last living member on your fire team or running solo. And One Quiet Moment, where you gain increased reload speed and handling when out of combat. And we have the new Stasis Aggressive Frame Scout Rifle the Prophet, which has a base impact of 100, a range of 59 and stability of 29. It can roll with Golden Tricorn, Kill Clip and Cascade Point, with Discord, Enlightened Action and Rapid Hit. It also has the Origin trait of Alacrity and One Quiet Moment, with Text Balanced Stock, where damaging a target whilst firing from the hip increase handling, reload speed and movement speed whilst aiming down sights. If you need a refresh, Trials of Osiris Dominion is still going to be the game mode that we know, a 3v3 PvP high stakes game mode, where 2 teams of 3 go head to head in a battle for control of a capture point. Teams can either work together to capture the control point or eliminate the enemy team to win the round. Only available from Friday Reset until Tuesday Weekly Reset, Trials gives every player the chance to show off their PvP skills to obtain some of Destiny's most sought after weapons and armour. Players that compete in Trials of Osiris will have all of their games tracked through a passage card, a ticket purchased from Saint 14 in the lower hang of the tower. In this mid-season refresh, Saint 14 is mixing things up with some new and revised passage cards. With the revised passage of Ferocity, if you have not been flawless for the week, losses after the 3rd win will reset your card back to the 3rd win instead of flawing your card, meaning you can try again for that flawless run without having to fully reset. And with the new passage of Persistence, losses following a win will remove that win from your card. Consecutive losses do not remove additional wins. Getting to 7 wins grants you a drop of the weekly Adept weapon, regardless of how many losses you have taken. If your card is flawed, you will not be able to visit the Lighthouse, but 7 wins on the card guarantees an Adept drop. This card can be reset after 7 wins to try again for another drop. Saint 14 is also adding rewards for match completions by 3-person fire teams. You do not need to win to earn these rewards, but they are participation gated, so simply jumping off the map or sitting AFK in spawn will disqualify you from these rewards. You will also earn additional Trials reputation, a 50% chance at getting the non-Adept Trials weekly weapon, and a 50% chance at getting a Trials engram. But winning rounds and matches in Trials will guarantee weapons, armour, Pinnacle gear, Master materials, and even Adept weapons. For those most skilled players who can reach the Lighthouse with a flawless ticket of 7 games won with no losses, Adept weapons have a chance to drop with every win after your flawless run. 5 round wins will bag you the match for your passage card. Also, by competing in Trials, you do have the chance to pick up 2 Pinnacle engrams from playing each week, one from 50 round wins and the other from winning 7 games. These do not have to be done all in one go, but you do have to complete them before the weekly reset.
Earn your honour, Guardian.
For anyone who is just returning or catching up with content, we have Riven's Wishes, where players can visit Morosov in the Helm to accept a new weekly quest with a high-risk objective in the Dreaming City, such as completing legendary lost sectors or dungeons. Upon completion of these weekly objectives, players can return to Mara to receive a wish token. Each week you can use this token to choose a prize from one of the 3 different categories. Category 1, Last Wish Resonance, where you can choose a red bordered Last Wish raid weapon. These are the Kinetic Rapid Fire Frame Sniper Rifle Supremacy, the Kinetic High Impact Frame Scout Rifle Transfiguration, the Solar Adaptive Frame Rocket Launcher Apex Predator, the Kinetic Lightweight Frame Pulse Rifle Chattering Bone, the Arc Adaptive Frame Hankin Nation of Beasts, the Arc Adaptive Frame Fusion Rifle Techium Force, the Solar Lightweight Frame Bow Tyranny of Heaven, and the Void High Impact Frame Auto Rifle Age Old Bond. Category 2, Exotics, where you can choose a piece of Lightfall Year exotic armour. For the Hunters, the Speedloader Slacks, Search Arachne's Facade, Triton Vice, and the Mothkeeper's Wraps. For the Titans, the Cadmus Ridge Lance Cap, Abeyant Leap, Abor Warden, and the Pyrogale Gauntlets. For the Warlocks, Ballador's Wrathweavers, Swarmers, Cenotaph Mask, and the Briarbinds. Category 3, Miscellaneous, where you can choose from a variety of other rewards, such as Dawning and Fetter of the Lost Mementos, Ascendant Shards, Ascendant Alloys, and Exotic Ciphers. Riven's Wishes will offer new quests for 6 weeks, but you will have time to complete them and earn rewards up through the Final Shapes release.
That is amazing.
Also continuing this week will be Moments of Triumph 2023, with a collection of 30 challenges celebrating everything you've been able to achieve in the past year. If you've been active, you'll likely already have some of these completed, which just gets you closer to getting the 26 you'll need for the 2023 title. Along the way, you'll also earn some event rewards, including the new Laurel Shell for your Ghost, and the Fire Guilt Quadrig Sparrow, plus access to purchase the 2023 Moments of Triumph shirt. This week we'll see bonus Crucible ranks available all week long.
Eyes up, Guardian.
Also, don't forget, with us moving to the final few weeks of the season, this is your reminder to start collecting all of your Season of the Wish Pass items, any items left over from Season of the Witch Season Pass from Bungie.net, any Into the Light items from the Hall of Champions Shacks, and our site 9940, any items from the Helm vendors, Season 20's War Table, Season 21's Sonar Station, Season 22's Ritual Table, and Lectern of Divination, Season 23's Spirit of Riven, and Riven's Wishes Mara Salve. Plus your reward track items and engrams from Banshee 44, Gunsmith, Shax, Crucible, Zavala, Vanguard, Drifter, Gambit, and Saint 14 Trials. Grab these before the end of the season, as they will reset and you will lose all items when the final shape begins. Don't forget you can start completing and hoarding bounties to get a leg up on XP, reward track items, and artifact progression for the final shape. Plus, as a reminder, you can collect a free pile of 700 Bright Dust from the Eververse store every week up until the final shape's release.
Get back out there.
And that's it for the 24th week of Season of the Wish. Thank you for watching. Allons-y!
Guardian down.